Hello students, myself is Parminder Singh from Prab Kripa classes. Our today's topic is exploring barter economics, meaning, advantages, constraints and real world examples. After going through this course, the students will understand what is the meaning of barter system, since when has the barter system been used, in what situations is the barter system not useful, especially regarding indivisible goods? What is meant by double coincidence of wants in the context of barter system? Why is the barter system considered a time consuming process? How does the barter system differ from a monetary system? What type of goods or services were commonly exchanged in traditional barter systems? Are there any contemporary or localized examples of barter systems still in use today? What are the benefits? What are the disadvantages of the barter system? This course is going to give you sufficient knowledge about the benefits, limitations, the barter system, what is the meaning of barter system, in what situations barter system is not useful, and why the barter system is at present not being used by most of the world. Now the topic before us is, what is a barter system? First of all, we try to understand what is barter system with the help of photographs. Here you can see that, say a person A is having only tomatoes and the person B is having carrots. Now A person wants carrots and the B person which has carrots wants tomatoes. If they exchange goods with each other or the produced goods with one another, it is called barter system. Here money is not used as a medium of exchange. In the modern world, what we do, we go to the market, say we purchase tomatoes, we pay for the same by way of currency, that is printed notes or coins. But if we look at thousands of years ago, currency was not in existence, or the people were not having access to the currency. So they were using barter system. They were exchanging goods with one another. So barter system is a system in which there is direct exchange of goods or services between two persons without the use of money. Here you can see that if a person C is having only apples and he wants the services of a carpenter. On the other hand, the carpenter wants apples. So the person or the farmer who is having apples may arrive at agreement, verbal agreement with the carpenter, that you do some work at my home, and in exchange of that, in exchange of your services of carpentry, I will give you some apples. This is exchange of goods with the services. Here the services are being rendered by the carpenter, and the C will in return give some apples to the carpenter D. So now we will have what is the meaning, exact meaning of barter system. Barter system is a system of exchange by which goods or services are directly exchanged for other goods or services without the use of money. Here, two things are important. One is direct exchange of goods and services, and the second point is without the use of money. Money is not used in the selling or buying of goods. Another definition is it is an old method of trade where two or more parties exchange goods or services without the use of money. The question may arise whether in the barter system only two parties are involved, A or B. No. This definition says that two or more parties may be involved in barter system. We will understand the same with the help of example in due course of time. The barter system, that is this form of trade, has been used for thousands of years and was a prevalent means of trade before the advent of modern currencies. This system of barter, that is direct exchange of goods and services between persons, remained in force for thousands of years. It was prevalent thousands of years ago and it remained in vogue for thousands of years. But now these currencies have come into existence, say rupee, dollars, printed notes have come into existence, coins are there, or we are using credit card, debit card, internet banking. So many other forms of money have come into existence. Now the barter system is less in use. Now we use money mainly as a medium of exchange. Now the topic before us is, are there any contemporary or localized examples of barter systems still in use today? In other words, the question says that whether barter system is still used in the world, whether there are any examples of the same. Now we will find out the answer of this question. Yes, there are contemporary examples of barter systems still in use today around the world. We hereby give you certain examples. In some African communities and in some remote tribes of Amazon rainforests. Amazon rainforests are spread over many countries of the world, and many tribes which are living in these Amazon rainforests and some people which are living in some African countries, that is some communities in African countries, are still using the barter system. These communities often rely on bartering or trading goods and services among themselves as a means of survival, because some person may be having some crop in surplus and he may be wanting or desiring to have some other services or goods or crops, so they may exchange goods or services with one another so that they can survive. Now we understand the contemporary recent example of the use of barter system in India. June Bhil Mela. June Bhil Mela is an annual fair which takes place in Assam in India. It is one of the largest barter fairs in the world. During the fair, the people from various communities, villages gather to trade a wide range of items. People come in large numbers in this fair and they exchange with one another items such as agricultural produce, handcrafted goods, livestock and more. without using currency. Here you will also observe that though June Bean Beal Mela is one of the largest barter fairs in India, barter fairs in the world, but here also currency is not used in exchange of goods and services. Here the goods are exchanged with one another without the use of currency. Now the third example, in this modern world, we many times purchase things online. So keeping in view the technological changes, many websites are also playing a role in bartering transactions between individuals and businesses. That is, some more websites are involved for helping the people and as well as the businesses to exchange goods with one another. These websites provide a platform where people can connect, negotiate, and exchange items or services without using money. These websites help the people in exchange of goods and services. Some popular online bartering websites, that is the examples of those websites are Craigslist, Butterfly, Barter Only, Swaps, etc. These websites are from UK, USA, etc. Overall, barter systems are not as common as they once were. It means that the barter system was very popular thousands of years ago when the currency was not being used as a medium of exchange. But with the passage of time, various types of currencies have come into existence. Now printed notes and coins are being used as a medium of exchange. But there still they exist in many parts of the world. Still barter system is existing in many parts of the world as a way for people to exchange goods and services without using money. It means that though the time has changed, we are using money as a medium of exchange and we are using it for buying and selling of goods. But still barter system is still being used in some parts of the world so that they may exchange goods and services with one another. It may be possible that they are very remote areas where currency may not be in existence or where it may be hard to get currency. Such like of reasons may be there. Now the topic before us is, what are the benefits of using a barter system? The barter system is less prevalent in modern times. It is not used mostly. But still, barter system has many benefits. It is simple. How it is simple? There is direct exchange of goods and services. Direct exchange of goods and services. The barter system does not require complex financial system. In this world, when we are using debit card or credit card, it may be possible that some payment may be struck because there may be some technical issue. Internet connectivity may be gone at the end of the receiver or at the end of the sender, or there may be some other technical issues and the payment may not reach the other person. But in this case, in the barter system, the person on the spot exchange goods and services with one another. There is no problem and the transaction is complete. Next is, barter system is efficient. This system of exchange of goods and services between individuals is very efficient, particularly in the case of communities where they are having less access to currency. There may be areas in each and every part of the world where the communities may not be having free access to currency. Either they may be very backward, or they may be living in some very remote area where they may not be in a position to get currency. So in that case, in case of those communities, as already discussed, in the case of communities which are living in Amazon rainforest, in the case of some African communities, this barter system, this system of exchange of goods and services is very efficient. Next benefit is community building. When two persons are exchanging goods with one another, it is a trade between persons face to face. They come together and one person says, I want to exchange this good, and the other person says, okay, I am ready to take your goods in return. So when there is trade between two persons face to face, it results in social interaction. When social interaction is there, it promotes social interaction, and it also promotes community building. Some sort of relationship between the people and the communities comes into existence. Next point is barter system is green and sustainable. Barter system can promote sustainability. How? Suppose we are having a furniture and we want to change it. Though furniture is good, but we want to change it with change of fashion or due to some other reason. There may be some other people or some shopkeepers who may be ready to exchange you the old furniture with some plastic chairs. You may go to a shopkeeper and he may be ready that he will provide you some plastic chairs in return of your old furniture. They will use it and sell it to some other persons. So in this case, you will please observe that when the furniture is made of wood, this furniture will be used by some other persons. So there will be no need to cut wood, which is a source of oxygen all over the world. So plants and trees will be saved from cutting. So the barter system promotes greenery and sustainability. Now the topic before us is, what are the disadvantages of using a barter system? While the barter system has many benefits, it also suffers from many limitations. We will now discuss the same one by one. First is lack of a common measure of value. It can be difficult to determine the exact value of goods or services to be exchanged. For example, there is a farmer who is having some apples. Now, it can be difficult how many apples or how many kg of apples will be equal to 1 gallon of milk. That is, how much quantity of apples or how much apples in numbers should be given to the other person in exchange in return of 1 gallon of milk. The person who is having apples may be asking for 2 gallons of milk in return of specified number or specified weight of apples, but the other person may be ready to offer only 1 kg. So it is very difficult to have the common measure of value in the case of barter system. If it is the current situation, in the current scenario, we have assigned the value to each goods services in currency. If we want to purchase say milk, it may be say worth $2 per liter. But in the past or in the case of barter system, it is very difficult to arrive at the exact value of the goods at which the goods can be exchanged. Second limitation or disadvantage is double coincidence of wants. It means that both the persons should have the things which the other person wants. It means that suppose I am having rice and I want wheat. A person wants wheat. Here B person has wheat but wants sugar. So this transaction or the exchange of goods can be possible only when both the persons have the things which the other person wants. That is, A person should have which the B wants and the B person should have which the A wants. Only then the exchange of goods can take place. If two persons are having different wants, then the transaction or the exchange of goods and services cannot take place. Next disadvantage of barter system is indivisibility of certain goods. Certain goods cannot be divided into small parts. How? We understand the same with the help of an example. Suppose there is a farmer who wants to exchange his cow in return of wheat. So this person may be having say only 50 kg wheat, but here cow is not divisible. So how the transaction will take place? The exchange of goods will not be in a position because the cow is an indivisible animal. It is a large animal. In the case of large goods, divisibility is not possible. They are indivisible. If the goods or the things are in small, that is say sugar, rice or other crops, they are divisible. They can be divided into small quantities. But in the case of big items, it is may become difficult to exchange the goods with other persons. Now the fourth point is barter system is inefficient and time consuming, especially if multiple parties are involved. We have so far learnt that barter system is a system where the goods or services are exchanged between two parties without the use of money. But we must understand that in the case of barter system, more than two persons may also be involved in the exchange of goods and services. But as the number of persons increase, to implement the exchange of goods and services becomes difficult. The persons which are involved in exchange of goods and services may not arrive at the rate at which goods and services should be exchanged. At what rate? Because if the number of goods are to be exchanged are many, because the persons involved are many, each person is having one good to be exchanged. So when the number of persons increase, so the exchange of goods between many persons becomes difficult. A particular person may be ready to offer things, but the other person may be wanting some more. We will try to understand the same with the help of an example. Suppose there is a person A, another person B, this is C. This is a farmer. A is a farmer. He is having apples, surplus apples, and he wants honey. Now B is a beekeeper who has bee, surplus bee. So now B person wants to sell milk, wants to purchase milk to in return of the honey. He is having honey. So now C person is also a dairy farmer. He is having surplus milk, but he wants apples. So from the perusal of this, A person is having apples, wants honey. B is having surplus honey, but he wants milk. So you will see that the exchange of goods is not possible between any two persons, because the other person is not having that goods which can be exchanged in return. Here you can see that A person wants honey. He wants to give apples and wants honey. He is ready to offer apples in exchange. But the person who is having honey, he desires or wants milk. So the exchange of goods is very difficult in such a case. It may be possible that A person gives his goods to person C. C person gives his goods to milk to B, and B person gives his goods to C. So such type of scenario is possible, but the exact quantity which the particular person has to give it to another person is maybe a cause of disagreement. And to arrive at the consensus for all the persons, to arrive at the fair value of each of their produced goods can be a time consuming. It can be a cause of also disagreement, and it may also be possible that the exchange may not take place at all between any of these persons, because they may not arrive at any fair value with respect to the exchange which a person should give it to other person. Next is lack of store of value. Suppose a person is having wheat. This is a farmer who is having surplus wheat. He wants blankets. So he will have to find the person who is ready to accept wheat in return for blankets. Firstly, he will have to find out the same. Now it will also be a problem that the person who is having blanket may not be ready to give the fair value to the wheat. He may be offering, say, 10 kg wheat he may be asking for 10 kg wheat, but the farmer who is to give wheat is ready to offer say 8 kg of wheat in return for one blanket. It may be possible that the, they may not arrive at consensus so that the exchange may take place. But the farmer on one side, the person who is having blanket may keep it in store and will be in a position to exchange the goods, exchange the blanket at a later date with the wheats. But the person who is having wheat may not store it for longer period of time, because wheats, or if the person is having say vegetables, it cannot be stored for indefinite period, because it may, the value of the wheat or the value of the crop may deteriorate. Here the benefit of money comes. If the medium of change is money, it can be stored, and we can say we sell our wheat say for $100, we can store $100 in our locker or in at any other place, which we can use to purchase the required item at a later date. But in the case of wheat, the wheat is a perishable item, or the crop is a perishable item, and we may not, the farmer may not get the fair value with the passage of time, or the farmer may not be having enough space or the proper space to store wheat. Next is limited geographic reach. Barter system is suitable for local region, local area. It is not suitable for international trade or long distance trade. Next is no deferred payments. Suppose if we talk about the current situation, we can buy a house by taking loan from the banks. Current scenario. House buying on bank loan. That is, we can buy the house by taking loan from the bank, and we can pay for the same in installments by way of currency, by way of internet banking or whatever other means. But if we talk about the barter system, there is problem with respect to deferred payments. Sometimes it may be case of much big problem. How it happens? Suppose there is a person A. He wants his house to be constructed. There is a person B who is a laborer. Now, a person wants house to be constructed. This is a laborer, and he wants say wheat. A person has wheat. Now the B person is having services to be offered. He can give his services as a laborer or to construct the house. So both of the persons arrive at a consensus that a B person will construct the house of A. B person will construct the house of A, say within 2 months, and in return A will give him say 100 kg wheat. B starts doing his work of constructing the house, and say after 2 months house is fully constructed. But in the meanwhile, weather conditions become very bad and the production of wheat does not come up to the expectations of A. That is, we can say that A person was hoping that the his crop will give a yield of 200 kg, but because the weather conditions were not proper, there were excess rains or excess heat, the production was not proper and the actual production was say only 50 kg. So in case of A was thinking that he will give 100 kg to B, that is the laborer, and he will keep 100 kg for himself so that he can eat the same for his domestic use. But when the production has decreased drastically, now the A is not in a position to give 100 kg. B was thinking that he will get 100 kg of wheat and he will be in a position to use the same in future. Now, here B has given his services as a laborer, but A is not in a position to give the goods in exchange because the weather conditions were not proper. Here the problem comes. Had it been the case of use of money, the A farmer, B person would have taken the money on daily basis and A person might have sold his wheat. So this type of deferred payment system is not suitable in the case of barter system. If the money system was in force or barter system was not in force but money was being used as a medium of exchange, it might be possible that A person would promise that as I am not in a position to give you a money at present, if money was being used, then in that case A person would have stated that I will give you $1,000 for constructing the house, but as I am not in a position, I will give you interest at the rate 10% per annum. But it is possible only in the case when the money is being used as a medium of exchange. So deferred payment is difficult to be implemented in the case of barter system. Now the topic before us is, how does the barter system differ from a monetary system? First is medium of exchange. In the case of barter system, there is direct exchange of goods and services without the use of money. It means that if say we are having rice, we want wheat. So in that case, there is direct exchange. Rice will be given to the other person and wheat will be taken from the other person. There is direct exchange. The things may change. It may be sugar. On the other side, we may be desiring, say, some services, carpentry services, electrician services. So there is direct exchange. Money is not used. But in the case of monetary system, people use money as medium of exchange. For example, we go to the market and want to purchase, say, a pen. This pen is, say, worth $1. We give $1 to the shopkeeper and take the pen. So here in the monetary system, medium of exchange is money. But in the case of barter system, goods are exchanged with one another. This thing is being exchanged with this thing. Direct exchange. No use of money in the case of barter system. Next point of difference is double coincidence of wants. Double coincidence of wants is required in the case of barter system. It means that both the persons should have what the other wants. Both the persons who want to exchange goods and services must have what the other wants. It means that suppose we are having honey and we want milk. So we have to find the person who is having milk but and also at the same time wants honey. That is double coincidence of wants. Both the persons should have the things which the other person wants. That is, other person should have milk and the person having milk should have honey. But in the case of monetary system, double coincidence of wants is not required. We are not concerned with what the other person is having or not having. We go to the shopkeeper, we pay him certain amount and take the thing. There is no consideration of wants of the buyer or seller. Barter system is inefficient because there are negotiations regarding the value. At what rate they are ready to give. For example, if there are eggs, how many eggs will be equal to the 1 gallon of milk? It will depend on the negotiation between the persons. On the other hand, it is an efficient system. Monetary system is efficient. There is no time consuming. We give to the other person the assigned value. If we go to the want to purchase say a television, it is given if some proper value, say $1,000. We give it. Okay. But in the case of barter system, it is inefficient. Long negotiations take place between the two persons. Subjective negotiation. The persons may or may not agree other person to the exchange quantity which we are ready to give. Next is standard of value. This point we have already discussed, that the value is discussed on the basis of discussion between the two parties. In the case of monetary system, the price of goods and services is denominated in currency. For example, we want to purchase say a fan. The fan may be having say $100 worth $100. So we will give $100 and will take away the fan. Now the next difference is store of value. In the case of barter system, the items which are exchanged are generally consumed or used immediately. For example, vegetables. We cannot keep the vegetables with us for a long time. Suppose we are having surplus crops, green vegetables. Can we keep it for say 1 month? No, they will perish. Their value will reduce with the passage of time or they will completely destroy. We cannot store it, or if we want to store it for 1 or 2 days, there should be proper conditions to store it. We should have the proper area where to store, proper atmosphere, proper temperature. So, but in the case of barter system, we cannot store the things for an indefinite period. But in the case of monetary system, we can save the money. We can save it for say 10 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and we can use it whenever we want. Suppose we save the money in banks or keep it at home, we can use it say after 2 years to purchase whatever we want. In the case of barter system, portability is a big problem. Suppose we are having 1000 kg of rice. Is it easy to transport it to say 500 kilometers? Is it easy? There is a transportation problem. Again, we will have to find out whether the other person who is residing 500 kilometers away will be ready to give me what I want. Suppose I am ready to give rice, but I want wheat. If I travel 500 kilometers, whether the other person will be having wheat, whether he will be giving me the required quantity of wheat which I want. If I want, say, 500 kg wheat in return, whether the other person will have or whether he will be ready to give me. So it is, in the case of barter system, portability is a big problem. There are transportation and logistic problems in the case of barter system. But in the case of monetary system, we can keep big currency of big denomination in our pockets, at our home, in our banks. So it is a portable. We can easily carry. Today's we are having debit card, credit card, internet banking. So in the case of monetary system, money is portable. In the case of barter system, divisibility is also a problem. Suppose we are having a cow, but we want simply 1 kg of sugar. Now, how to exchange? Can we exchange our cow for 1 kg of sugar? Because the cow is indivisible. Because cow is a large animal and here divisibility is not possible. So barter system has its own problem when the goods or items which are to be exchanged are of huge quantity or is not divisible. But in the case of monetary system, we may be having currency of small denomination, big denomination. We may be having, say, 1 rupee coin, or we may be having 100 rupee note, or we may be having $1. We may be using $10 by way of internet banking, debit card, or by way of cash, printed notes. So the barter system is a simple and straightforward way of exchange of goods and services. We give the goods to other person and in return get the goods. Direct exchange without the use of money. Money has largely replaced the barter system in most economies because the barter system was having many limitations such as double coincidence of wants or lack of store of value, time consuming method. So the money has taken the front place and barter system is now being used rarely in very few areas. Barter system is restricted in very few areas in the world. Barter system is still a viable means of exchange in some communities and situations. It is still being used in some African communities or in some tribal areas of Amazon rainforest or in some other parts. Barter system is a practice of the past, but it is a reminder that we are all interconnected and interdependent. Now the topic before us is what types of goods or services were often traded in a traditional barter system. In a traditional barter system, different types of goods and services were exchanged. The types of goods or services exchanged depended on the region, the community, and the available resources. Now we will give below some examples of those items, goods, which were frequently exchanged in the traditional barter system. First is agricultural products, fruits, vegetables, crops, livestock. Livestock means animals such as cows, buffaloes, donkeys. Natural resources such as marbles, etc. Handcraft items such as jewelry, pottery. Services, carpentry, construction work, labor work. Food and consumables such as salt, spices. Tools and equipment which were often traded in barter system were those related to construction work or which are used in daily use in different types of works. Clothing, household items, household items which were being traded in the barter system were such as furniture or items which are used for kitchen purpose. Medicines and herbs. In the past, various types of goods were in the knowledge of the persons, certain persons which were having some medicinal properties. They were also being exchanged in return for other items. So, in the nutshell, in case of barter system, there is direct exchange of goods and services without the use of money. But in the case of monetary system, money is being used as a medium of exchange so that we can buy or sell the goods. Due to the various shortcomings of barter system, money is now being used for exchange of, for buying and selling of goods and services. Thanks for watching. If you like our course, please spare some time to give a star rating to our course.